Welcome to this Way to Fire YouTube video, where today it's me, Andy, and I am going to be playing for the first time ever a game that I've been wanting to play for a very, very long time. And it is Rangers of Shadowdeep. So Rangers of Shadowdeep is a solo fantasy, fairly grim setting, wargame stroke role-playing game by Joseph McCullough of Frostgrave and Stargrave fame. He sort of self-published this one, and then it's been picked up and you can pick by Modiphius for a printed rule book, but most of the additional stuff is available online through Drive Thru RPG or Wargames Vault, those sorts of downloadable sites. And it's a fantastic game, to be honest. It uses lots of similar mechanics to Frostgrave and Stargrave. The key difference here is that it's solo, and therefore really good at the moment for me, because I haven't got too many people to play with. It's also got a really fantastic setting, and the fact that it's this world of Alador against the Shadow Deep, which is a sort of mystical sort of area that seems to be expanding, full of decayed and depraved things that affect and pollute the land around. And then you've got the people of Alador who are trying to fight it back, led by the Rangers, who are our heroes. And so each band, as it were, has a ranger to lead them, and then some companions. So this is my ranger here in the hood with the two swords. This is Raniger Lackland. Now he has a number of heroic abilities that he can take. I have Powerful Blow, which means there's extra damage if he wants to. Parry, so he's better at parrying, but obviously can't hurt people. Roll with the punches, so he takes less damage. And he also has one spell that he can cast Heal, because I thought that might be useful to keep my team around. And then you can boost a whole bunch of skills as well in a similar way to a role-playing game. He also has a bow and quiver, armour, rope, that sort of stuff. And he has a very similar stat profile to Frostgrave and Stargrave, that sort of thing. So it's all a D20 mechanic, so it can be a little bit swingy, but because it's solo, I don't really care too much about that, because I'm not really losing anything, because I'm playing solo. Who are the other members of his team? Well, the rest are all sort of fairly generic types, really, but he is definitely the hero of the gang. So to the right with the lamp is Silent Mary. She is a rogue, so she's pretty good at picking locks, traps, sneaking around, that sort of stuff. She has throwing knife as her only weapon. To the right, far right, we've got Trannick. He's an archer, fairly cheap and basic guy, but obviously has a bow. Not a bad tracker as well. And then on the other side, with the two-handed axe, we have Brodin the Strong. He's a guardsman, so he's a two-handed weapon, and he's quite strong. And then the two guys to the left, we've got Dardin in the white and Henath in the yellow. They are both men-at-arms, so they're reasonable fighters with shields and weapons, armour and that sort of stuff. So I am going to be playing the beginning mission from the core rulebook, which is called The Missing. So I'll just give you a little run over of that. It has been less than a week since the destruction of Lorenthia and the appearance of the Shadowdeep, but in that time the world has seemingly gone mad. Reports of strange creatures and evil robed men are flooding in from all along the border. Even with every soldier, ranger and volunteer mobilised, the kingdom is stretched thin. 3 days ago, a veteran ranger by the name of Aventine went out to investigate reports of an attack on a nearby village. He has not returned. Determined to find the missing ranger, you have gathered what companions you can and set off for the village. It's an 8-hour hike over difficult terrain. So that's the premise, and then the first scenario in this mission, of two scenarios, is the deserted village, and that's the one we're playing on video today. As soon as you came within sight of the nameless village, you knew that something wasn't right. There was no sound of man or animal, No movement except for the gentle swaying of the trees in the breeze. Closer in, you can see bodies lying in the dirt and smell the stench of death. Undaunted, you covered your face and carried on. Whatever happened here, it was your duty to try to discover the truth, and if possible, determine the fate of Aventine. You had just reached the centre of the village and were about to split up to search when a horrible moaning sound came from all around. Dun, dun, dun. So I will set my models up and we will get on with the first mission. I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully it'll play out well. Obviously I've only done this. This is the first time I've ever played this game, so if I make any rules mistakes, please do let me know, because I'd like to improve and play more of these games. So great, thank you. So here we are, the table is set. So my band of heroes, led by Raniger, the Raniger Lackland. So our band of heroes, led by the Ranger Raniger Lackland, are deployed in the centre of the village. There are these 5 buildings around and a series of clues. So there is a clue in this building which is locked, which is why my rogue is heading that way, because they can unpick the lock. There's another one in this building which hopefully with my arms will be able to knock down. The other buildings don't have clues in, but there are other clues around. So there's one here in this wood just off the sign here, another one in the wood at the far end up there, another one in the wood behind this red building, and there's one over here as well, which has actually been moved forwards closer to my band a little bit because I passed a perception test as I walked into the village, which allowed me to bring that forwards. So we play this game for 8 rounds, and yeah, we're going to see what happens. There are some giant rats, 2 giant rats. So one over there, I should have forgotten to move him. We're taking a picture. So one over there and one to the left of the picture. And then there are 4 zombies as well. One at each of the midpoints, 6 inches in front of the table. So to the right there, straight ahead behind the white building, straight in front of us. And the other one just behind the orange roof building on the left. So let's get on with the game. So we started with the Ranger phase. So Raniger fired at this rat over here, but failed to hit it, and then he didn't move, which doesn't get too close to things at the moment. The Archer also activated. I can activate 2 companions with my Ranger. So he fired over at that zombie over there, but failed to hit, and then has moved to take up some cover by that by those barrels. And Silent Mary moved down here and open the door with a successful pick lock, so she'll be able to get the clue next door. Now we go into the monsters phase, and they will act using the AI, and none of them have any shooting, so they're all going to come towards me as fast as they can. And in the monster phase, one rat came down to attack Hanath there. They actually rolled equal to each other, so they both damaged each other. So 3 wounds went onto Hanath, which is a bit annoying, and the rat obviously got squished. Hanath managed to pass his disease roll though, and then Brodin had another rat come within an inch, so he pulled that into combat and slaughtered it. I am now going to go on to the rest of my retainers. Brodin is going to move down here to deal with this zombie. Bardin's going to move over there and then pull this zombie onto him, and Hanath is going to head over here. Actually, he heads over and he has to follow. I've already measured that, so he doesn't quite make the full distance, but he gets within an inch and pulls that zombie onto him. So we'll see what happens with those, leaving just Raniger in the centre of the table. So Brodin made short work of that zombie, as did Bardin. But Hanath unfortunately managed to lose, but only took a single wound. Then the event was 2 extra zombies appearing, so an extra zombie over there, and an extra zombie at the back of the table there as we go into round 2. And I've realised I've left my Ranger fairly far away from his other models, so I probably won't get to activate any other troops, which is a bit annoying. That's a mistake on my part. And Ranger phase 2. Raniger moves down here and looks at this clue token, and they found he found the body of Aventine. Aventine himself was here, strangely holding a rusty old sword. Well, that's no good to me. I'll just throw that in the dirt. I have failed an armory roll with a target number of 6. I rolled a 4. I have no skill in armory, so I couldn't recognise the magic sword. Oh well, that's useless. The other people to activate: Silent Mary went inside the building. She looked at the clue here and found a wounded villager she's going to help out. And then Tranich, over by the cart, took a shot at the zombie in front of him and managed to put 5 wounds on him. He's got 1 wound left before he dies. So hopefully that will help Hanath deal with that zombie. And then now we're on to the monster phase. At the end of that monster phase, a bit of movement forwards with this zombie. Another zombie over there moved to Tranich but can't get close in, and Tranich doesn't want to make him come into the fight. Hanath fought the heavily wounded zombie and lost. And took another 3 wounds. I mean, come on, Hanath! Blooming guardsman, you should be able to do this. Rest of the models, it's going to be Hanath probably just going to try and take out that zombie. Someone needs to help him. I think my ranger will go over there. Oh, actually, that has to be next turn. Yeah, let's see what happens. And at the end of round 2, Bardin moved over here, dealt with that zombie very easily. Brodin moved up and pulled in the other zombie that was near Tranich and dealt with him very easily. And Hanath went and fought the zombie in front of him. Managed to get a successful hit, but didn't do any damage. Didn't win by enough to do any damage. I mean, come on, Hanath! How many chances do I have to give you? Right. Going into round 3. And start round 3, we've got extra zombies that came on here and over here. What do we need to do? So we need to get the clues. So this guy over here, Bardin, is going to run down and get that clue. I think we'll get that first before the monsters activate. Ranaga is going to have to go and help out Hanath. Not a lot else I'm going to do at the minute, actually. Brody might go and knock down the door because I want to get the clues now. That's the goal. So Bardin came down here, looked at this clue and found a filter of fairy dust, which is interesting. It makes a weapon magic. I'm not going to use it now though. Brodin moved over there, kicked in the door with ease. He's a big strong man after all. And Ranaga moved up to help out Hanath, and yeah, you're looking right. Ended up failing so badly to kill this wounded zombie that I took 7 wounds. I mean, this is getting a bit of a joke now, I'm going to be honest with you. Right, on to the monster phase. And the companion phase. Tranich shot at the zombie, failed to injure of course. Hanath had a go at him, won the combat, but failed to injure. Silent Mary moved out here, used her throwing knives on this zombie that's just appeared, but unfortunately wasn't able to hit, and the villager just moved out. The only event was disease, so any figure that's removed to reduced to 0 on my side has a chance of picking up a disease, and that may or may not be important. Right, into round 4. I need to seriously deal with this zombie. I'm going to do a group activation with Hanath and a ranger for sure. Finally, after a group activation, ganging up, they managed to deal with that last zombie. Gosh, dear oh dear, that's how frustrating. So that's 2 of my ranger actions, and then the other one was Brody moved into the building that he'd kicked the door open in. And he looked at a clue, and the clue was a mutilated body. He had a good look at it using his survival instincts and realised that some puncture marks on the neck looked like they might have come from spiders. On to the monster phase. This zombie came in and Dardin did a decent amount of damage on him, did 3 wounds. This zombie came around and attacked Brodin as he's in the building looking at the body and took 3 wounds for his trouble. This zombie came in and had a go at Ranaga and actually got a massive hit on him, so I used my heroic ability, roll with the punches, to take my 7 wounds I would have taken down to 4, leaving him on 11 wounds, which is pretty bad. I only have 18 health, so I don't want to take many more. Right, let's go on to the rest of the... Actually, he should have pushed Raniger back. Let's go on to the rest of the companion phase, see what I can do. So in that companion phase, the wounded villager just moved to the centre of the table. Tranich shot at that zombie but failed to injure him and then has moved over to try and get that clue. And Silent Mary threw throwing knives at this zombie but missed, and then moved over towards that building to go around the back to get the clue over there because she's quite fast with a move of 7. And then the event was a giant rat that's appeared right in front of her, so she'll need to deal with that first. Okay, into round 4. Let's see what we can do. So in this ranger phase, Silent Mary threw throwing knives at the rat, took it out, and has run around the building towards that clue at the back. Tranich fired his bow at the zombie that was in front of Hanath and Raniger and took it out, and then has run over there to look at that clue, and has found some interesting tracks on the floor, but no idea what they're for. And then Raniger cast his spell, Heal, on himself to heal 5 wounds off, which is great. He's now a much more healthy specimen. And then moved towards that zombie and pulled it into combat and did 1 extra wound on it, so it's almost dead. So the monster phase, that monster will fight back because it actually would have bounced off and then comes back in again. And this one will move in down here, of course. So we'll see what they do. Actually, nothing really happened in that phase because there's no one left to fight. So Hanath just moved back by those trucks. The villager moved up towards Raniger. Brodin came out of the building. This combat, of course, was going on. They were locked in combat. Oh, actually, so Darden needs to fight. I forgot to do that. Oh, he gets a big hit. 18 versus 11. So that's a win for Bardin because he's modified up to 21 versus 11, and 21 is going to be way more than the health needed because the armour is 12, so that would be 9 points of damage, and he only needs another 3 before he's dead. So actually, yeah, we did a dice roll on camera there, and Darden takes down another, I think he's 4th zombie. And as soon as Darden took down that zombie, there was a loud crash behind him as one of the houses collapses in on itself and starts to smoulder in ruins. So going into turn 5, I really only have 1 clue left to grab, and then yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. There's no actual enemies left on the table for me to deal with, which is quite a good situation to be in. So turn 6, ranger phase, didn't have a lot to do, so I cast heal again on Raniger, just moved into the centre, brought back Tranich to keep my guys together a little bit, try and keep them all safe. And then I went to pick up this clue, and whilst I did look at the clue, it turned out not to be a dead body, but an animated dead body. So I am now in combat with a zombie, and he is going to fight against poor Silent Mary, who only has a dagger. I did realise I've made a slight mistake. I only have 1 throwing knife, so I've been throwing them crazily, but actually only had 1. I think I've only hit 1 model, so I sort of feel it's okay. But I'll remember that next time. What I want to do is on camera. Oh, so Mary only got 5 and a 14 for the zombie. So Mary's got a fight of 1, but it has a dagger. Well, it's only -1 damage for the dagger. So she loses the fight against the zombie. Zombie hits on 14. It's got no modifier for the fight, so 14. My armour is 10. So poor old Mary takes 4 wounds and is pushed back an inch. And she is probably going to run away as soon as she possibly can. She might get helped out though. Brodin's probably going to come down and help her. Right, rest of my gang. A movement around the table, nothing much, and then Brodin did run down and got close enough to pull in the zombie and then proceeded to lose the fight. So Brodin takes 3 wounds. The event for the end of turn 6 is this one, which is a 6. So giant rats, 2 giant rats, suggesting to 2 randomly determined buildings. We'll see where they drop. So this is the start of round 7. So this is where the rats dropped. I'll activate my ranger first. He's going to run over there, and that doesn't quite get there, but pulls in the rat. So I'll fight the rat. Then I'll shoot with Tranich onto this one down here, and then I'll do Brodin doing a fight on that zombie over there. So Ranaga took out this rat, no problem. Tranich tried to shoot this rat but didn't hit it. And Brodin went and fought that zombie and whiffed, taking damage in turn. The zombie then came back into him and didn't do any more damage, thankfully, because he is 1 point off being out of the action. This rat moved in to attack Dardin and did win the fight, but didn't do any damage on Dardin. So, right, still got a little bit more to do to survive. So Dardin will come back in on there, of course. We'll do that one, and then we'll come back and see if the Silent Mary can help out Brodin. So the villager stayed where he was. Dardin moved in, fought the rat, but didn't manage to take it out. Hanath moved down, taking his injuries with him, and actually managed to do something and took off that rat. And then, amazingly, Silent Mary came in and absolutely butchered the zombie that was doing for Brodin there, so saved his bacon. And at the end of round 7, there are no models on the table, enemy models on the table, except I drew the ace, of course. So now there'll be 4 more zombies in the original starting positions, in the middle of each of the 4 table edges. But I think with only 2 turns left to go, they're not going to really do much to me. I might be able to take one out with an arrow or something. But basically, I probably just want to sit fast in the centre of the table. So with my Ranger phase, I moved Brodin back and then healed him with Ranaga. And I also ran Silent Mary back so that she would be safe as well, leaving me Tranich, who's going to shoot at one of those zombies over there, and Hanath and Brodin, who might go and try and take a zombie out each, actually. Yeah, why not? There's some experience points. What could possibly go wrong? So that was the end of scenario 1 of The Missing. Well, it was fantastic. I had a great laugh doing that. It was really good. I've enjoyed that a lot. What happened? Well, obviously, Hanath needs to go back to a little bit of training. Dardin, I think, is the man of the match, really. He killed about 4 zombies, didn't take an injury. Ranaga, a little bit lackluster, let alone lack land. But anyway, it's the first game, we'll see what happens. I think I did everything right. It's quite possible I did a few things wrong. I certainly missed the throwing knife thing, and also I didn't do the +2 damage on the Great Axe, which I think would have killed a zombie around earlier at one point, but doesn't matter too much. Yeah, otherwise I think it's all fine. So, at the end of the mission, you total up your experience. I got a load of experience for the kills. I found the mutilated body. I found Aventine, but I didn't find the magic sword. I found all 6 clues. I saved a survivor who has survived, and there he is at the back of his building. I didn't identify what the tracks were. Yeah, that's it. So I missed out on 12 experience, and of course any more experience from killing more creatures, but I killed quite a lot. So I ended up with 97 experience, which is slightly irritating because I need 100 to go up a level for my Ranger. Everybody else, all my henchmen, so to speak, get 2 progression points. They will only go up a level when they get 10, so it's going to take ages. But anyway, that was fantastic. I have enjoyed that, and we'll see what happens if I can identify what those strange, mysterious bites, those spider-like bites. Maybe I can track down where they've come from. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Check out the other Way to Fire videos. Check out the Way to Fire Hobby Hangout Facebook page where you can post up what you're working on, and we can all chat about that stuff together. Listen out for the Way to Fire podcast, and have fun gaming, guys. Thanks very much. Bye.